Banter show. Colorful panda.
Let's get ready for Bambit's brilliant blockchain banter. Let's get excited.
Bambit.
Here we go.
I like that. Let's say that. So that was the AI version of you that you probably
totally got that. That's hilarious. Thank you.
Well, thanks so much for coming, guys. So this is Bambit's brilliant blockchain banter episode 2. We got the entertainer here from Bambit, and we got the DirtyDegens, Scott and Josh. And I actually found the Bambit token through the DirtyDegens from your channel, from one of your videos, one of your lives. So do you guys remember when you were talking about Bambit and you found them?
I do.
Yeah.
I loved the panda. So that's what brought me to it. And I still think the panda is dope and has good potential. So I do recall that stream explicitly.
Yeah, and I love the colors. I'm big into neon colors. Like I've got my little neon light here. And or if you look at my YouTube, like, whoa, there's Bambit in the corner there. All my thumbnails, I just love the neon and those sort of colors. And yeah, I love pandas, so it was right up my alley. And like you guys said on stream, the quality of the website is just phenomenal. Like it's up the top there in terms of quality of artwork and quality of website. And that definitely led me to them. And I also noticed, I think after your stream, I maybe got a little bit of Bambit, but then I also saw that their community raids really hard. And so they were actually trending on a lot of different trending polls. And that's what led me to buying more and more Bambit. And yeah, I now have a large Bambit bag. I'm
That's
a
awesome.
little bit in.
Yeah, we had a fun time on that last episode for sure. I think we started around the 433 market cap, and about an hour or so afterwards, we were 700 or so. I think we had a good time.
Yeah, that's right. It flew. It's weird seeing Jordan without a Chuck headband. That's funny. I was actually on a Chuck meeting before this, and we're talking about how we can collaborate with Bambit and other projects. And yeah, it's I don't see these projects as player versus player. It's definitely like there's definitely room for all of them to win and to collaborate and get together and yeah, I love it. Bambit.
Sure.
So Josh and Scott, what's your why did you guys like Bambit? What's the reason you found it?
I like Bambit more than I like pandas more than I like koalas, sloths, or frogs. So
yeah.
I recall you going on a diatribe about koalas, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah, koalas are disgusting, bro.
Yep, that's what you said.
But I'm in Australia here. Like we're surrounded by koalas. There's literally like next door to me, the house next door has like signs saying like, "Watch out for koalas when you're driving."
So you should know how disgusting and useless they are.
Don't they do they attack you and stuff? Like you're walking down the street?
They're really heavy as well. They're actually pretty heavy. So they run across the roof sometimes here where I am. Like there's lots of koalas everywhere. And
Man,
so
Jordan, I didn't know you're in the jungle.
I am now. Like this is let me show you a little preview. What?
Oh,
It is not a jungle.
I'm waiting for a koala
a palm tree.
to jump through the window.
Well, it's a Caribbean jungle.
Well, not quite jungle, but we got like 100 acres behind us there. It's an awesome view, and the sunset's right there. It looks so good. It's not our property. It's like a next door neighbor's property, but it's awesome. It's all open. But yeah, this is a lot more rural where I'm living now. From my last, you guys probably remember my studio, the studio I had. It looked a little bit more professional, but I'm just in a lounge room here. But it's all good.
I love the peaceful outside vibe. You know, I would do that, but I like my office dark, so I shut all the windows and everything.
Yeah,
myself.
That's how I was at the studio. Like everything's shut and locked up, and I'm just fully open here. We got the kitchen behind us.
Ooh, house tour.
Woo! Oh, yeah. And we've got the kids running around in the background there. No, not quite. They're in the next room. The wife locks them up for like my streams. Don't let the kids out.
Hey, you know, in America now, if you have or actually it's in like 3 states, but the state that I live in is one of them. But if you have your kids on stream, or if you're like a parenting influencer or something like that, you have to pay your kids.
What?
Really?
Yeah, you have to. It's a law.
Is there an age? There must be an age limit or something, right?
I would assume if they're like under consent, like age of consent, you know.
Under 15 or something, they don't get paid.
Yeah, well, no, they have to get paid. Like even if they're like young children or like middle
Is that
schoolers
because
or
parents
elementary.
use their kids? Some parents like use their kids on stream and like make lots of money, and they don't give it to the kids.
Yeah, dude, TikTok's disgusting.
Have you guys seen Ryan's Toys? Do you guys know about
No.
Ryan's Toys?
I don't.
He's massive, massive like kids channel. I think he was doing it since he was like 3 or 4 years old, and now I've got a Kmart here in Australia, and the whole wall is Ryan's Toys. He's got a whole wall dedicated of toys, so it's like he's a big deal.
Wow.
But he's been doing it for like 4 or 5 years or something. He's going to be a teenager soon. He won't be a kid anymore. So I guess there's a limitation on how long he can do toys for. But I guess the toys.
Or the
evolve.
toys just get bigger as you get older.
Yeah.
More expensive.
Eventually he's like
Or more
driving
expensive,
around
true.
awesome Ferraris or something as toys.
Next thing you know, he's building an actual Lego castle, like life size.
That'd be so cool.
Yeah.
So last time on the Bambit show, I actually forgot to mention that you guys have games. I know there's one game out now, and there's a couple more games that looks like that might be worked on. I'm just going to quickly throw up my screen, and I've actually got the game here ready to go. So we have a little play. Can you guys see that?
It's loading. Yep.
Music. Okay, you guys can see my screen?
Wait a minute, that looks familiar.
Go Bambit!
Okay. You think it's easy.
What button was that? Oh, what button was it?
Mhm.
I forgot the button.
So while you're playing, I'll talk about it. First of all, there's only been a handful of people that have actually completed all the levels of this game. There we go. Action.
Click. Woo!
Uh-oh.
They got me. This is cool. It's a little like a little Mario style.
A little Mario inspired.
Yeah, it's like Mario with a stick.
Mario with the stick.
Bamboo power. Let's go. Get out of there. Ah! Blew me up. This is fun. This is cool. Should know that was going to happen. I've played Mario. You can double jump in this.
You're fearless. I was very nervous when I ran through it the first time.
I played many computer games. Yeah. Not saying I'm good. I'm just
Jordan was actually the first person to ever beat a Mario level.
Oh.
true.
He's obviously been practicing.
I played this one time for about 3 seconds. That's why when I got in here, I couldn't work out how to hit. Too much crap. I might leave it there. I think you guys get the play. It's really fun. Like I could keep playing.
It's strangely addictive, to be honest.
Like that was fun. I could definitely do that for like an hour.
So, do you like earn Bambit or anything out of it? Like, or is it just a pure game? Just a pure game?
That's a great question. Game number 1 is a pure game. Game number 2 is going to be, which we've just started developing. Will come out soon. It's going to be a different style altogether. But game number 3 will incorporate earning Bambits as part of the process.
That's
like
awesome.
that it's
Would it be
just
like play to earn? Sorry, Josh.
Play to earn, sure.
Play to earn, right?
It's not been developed, so that we're still kind of open to ideas here. But I like the idea of, wagering, maybe leaderboard, holding the leaderboard down, things of that nature. But that's not my call. But it is the community's opportunity to give some input into how we should take that for sure.
was awesome. Have you guys, Scott, have you guys seen the comics, the Bambit comics?
I'm sorry, I didn't.
No,
hear
I
you.
was just saying. I was just saying. I think that's great. That like initially it's an actual just game to keep people entertained and involved, opposed to something that's like, oh hey, well, for example, like what Chuck is doing, what that's fine, right? But like you put up these tokens, try to win, maybe you lose, whatever. Like instead of like a gambling play, right? It's just a pure game for enjoyment type thing. And I think that's good. The other ones are great too, and they have their place. But like after some establishments built, bases are there and everything like that, they make a lot more sense. But like for now, it's just something fun, and I think that's what memes are really all about, is having fun, right?
100%.
On the nose, you got it. Entirely.
I've done this before.
Yeah, professional.
And Tanner, do you want to tell not just the audience but also Josh and Scott about the different utilities that the NFTs have with the merch store?
So one of the coolest things that I thought, by the way, guys, I'm a core team member that has that came about naturally. I wasn't part of the development process. I just came in as an excited investor and quickly turned into a voice, a face, somebody to go out and spread the good word. I just love the project. So I've found out about all of this much like everybody else has. But as far as the NFTs are concerned, when we hit the 4 million market cap, we're going to be dispersing an airdrop to the holders, obviously, of with Bambits. And there are various other market caps that when we hit, we'll do more releasing. But for those that, and this has recently gone live, but for those that do own their own NFTs, you can actually put your NFT on our merch and sell it and get 70% of the profit. I've never seen that before. Not that doesn't exist. I've never seen it. I think it's pretty cool.
So how does that compare to the IP rights that Yuga Labs used to give Bored Ape Yacht Club holders, right? Like, for example, I was recently in LA and I went to this store that was a BAYC store, and it was entirely branded and modeled after the owner's ape, right? Because when you own a Bored Ape yacht, an ape, you basically own all the IP rights, or at least you used to. Yuga Labs has changed that a little bit in recent times, I'm pretty sure. But so how does that compare? Because like, I'm just curious. I don't know anything about what Bambit's doing in this situation, right? So,
well, you bring up a great question, and I'm going to have to defer. I really want to get that answer to you, but my understanding is all of the bits and pieces that make up our NFTs are hand drawn. We've paid for the licensing. We own those individual pieces that end up creating the whole NFT. So, in my mind, I would assume we have the ownership of the end result of a created NFT, and by selling it or having it minted to somebody else, the ownership goes to them. Which is why when they put it on our merchandise, there's a form that they fill out that they get 70%, and they can choose how much they want to mark it up. If you want to do 3%, 330%, that's up to them. So they can choose how much or how little they want to make off of that sell themselves.
no, that's cool because like, so in this situation specifically, for example, the Bambit store themselves will put up this shirt that has your NFT on it, right? And like they're marketing it essentially, and it's available to buy through their store, opposed to like the BAYC model where you own the IP and you open a store and you can do whatever the heck you want with it, right? So like it's a little bit different, but like I like that Bambit is actually doing that. That's cool. I also have not heard of a project allowing that to be done. Well, not so much allowing. You can go make whatever you want with the ones where you actually own the IP. But like to provide that platform for you to add it to their store, and people are just like, oh, I like that one the most, right? Like that's cool.
Yeah,
I
giving
like
it
it
the
too.
storefront, pretty much.
Yeah,
putting it on display, exactly.
Exactly. So there's a storefront for Bambit specific and randomized Bambit paraphernalia, but then there's the NFT holders merch store that you can go and find. Should you guys get your NFTs and want to build a store, you could just send it the link straight to your NFTs.
That's sweet.
Nice.
That's awesome. That gives and that's actually kind of like a new creative angle for creators. Instead of like, say like there's a lot of creators that don't have a merch store, for example. Like let's just say Jordan, for example. And like he's got this awesome Bambit NFT, and like he can go host it there and sell it there and not have to deal with a print shop or the quality of these shirts or whatever, all these things that come along with having merch and selling it, right? So no, that's really cool.
I agree.
It's a really cool idea. I like that idea. I think it's really unique, and Bambit's on Solana, and Solana's such a big network. So I can't wait to see what happens as the market heats up. And I think before the show started, we are talking a little bit about the markets, and we're saying that the fear greed index has been the highest in fear it's been for the whole year in the last week. So what are you guys, just opening up to a little bit more of the overall crypto market and Solana especially, since that's where Bambit's on. What do you guys think is happening? Do you think it's going to be a few weeks or months and we're going to move up, or we're still at the bottom, or we're going lower?
I'd hate to say that we're going lower, but it's a very strong possibility with how we saw Bitcoin drop and then how much we saw price fluctuation with Solana. I mean, for all that are, if you're picking up meme coins and different things on Solana, then I'm sure you're really looking at the Solana price. We've seen it go within like 48 hours from, what was it, like a 152, 53-ish maybe, as low as 121, back up to 143, back to, we're sitting at 141 right now. So every little movement with Bitcoin going down, dropping $1,000 is causing like 20-point fluctuation with that. So I'm a little worried that Bitcoin kind of goes sideways for a bit. And as we see little dips, also bleed out a bit more like Solana. And then even though we might jump back up a bit, we're still like, not at a 150 plus Solana. So that's what I'm a little cautious of. I do think though, by the fall, September-ish and onward, there should be no reason why we shouldn't be then on more so like trending upward, in my opinion. Hope I'm wrong, and I hope we start reversing and things start taking off for everyone, but might have a sideways summer here.
Cool, that makes sense. Josh, you gonna say something?
Well, all I know is I've got the Bitcoin conference in 2 weeks here, and it will be my 4th Bitcoin conference. And every single time I'm at Bitcoin conference, guess what happens, Jordan? Just guess.
It goes up.
No, it dumps.
It dumps?
It dumps.
And it's almost like every major conference, I feel like there's been a dump lately, or maybe I just associate that.
Sell the news event.
Yeah, no, I actually, I've started to wonder if like there's a conspiracy, like there's some whale that is anti-crypto, anti-Bitcoin, and they hold a ton of it. And like, we're coming up onto the major conference of the year, and they're like, watch this.
Germany.
Like,
No, just joking.
we're going to have all these nerds freak out. But
Elon.
I tend to agree with Scott. I thought that last week, I did think that we were rounding that corner. But I was played just like everybody else. Funds are buying in. There's people seizing the opportunity. And the opportunities are plentiful right now. I was looking at things earlier that showed in contrast from all-time high just this year, like their high of the year, not all-time high. Well, first a good half the projects, it was literally all-time high, but a lot of those are down, anywhere from 50, 60 to 90%. So it is a very good time than you may even assume. Like people are like, oh, well, it's not 15K Bitcoin, but the alts are what you should be looking at right now.
Yeah, the alts have really dropped down to almost last year levels, almost.
Yeah, alts don't handle stagnation very well. A stagnant market's unhealthy for low cap things and altcoins.
I'm like looking at my overall list here on my other monitor, and I'm just like, wow, like the levels of some of the alts have dropped significantly. I mean, but like I said, when things start turning around and we start waking up to days where there's massive movement upward, I see Solana, 400, 500, 600 or more this cycle. So that's a long way off, when we're at 141. I mean, 3-4x from here.
you say you see Bitcoin at 400,000 or 500,000 this year?
No, I said Solana, didn't I?
Oh, okay. I was gonna
You
say.
did.
Did I say Bitcoin? Or
I don't know.
Solana?
Solana. Yeah.
Okay, good. I was gonna say Bitcoin. I would love to see Bitcoin at $400,000 or $500,000. Do I think so? No. God, that's a hard one to guess. To be honest,
I think next year we're going to get some crazy moves of Bitcoin.
What's crazy moves? Do you think like 150, 180?
No, I'm thinking
Higher than that?
300K, 400K Bitcoin next year.
Okay. What do you think? So that's
that would be amazing.
That would be a potential cycle top. What do you think that will our base level will be that will carry after the peak?
Oh, I like the drop down. I guess it'll probably be like 100. It would be like 100K.
Okay.
I reckon, because that's like a psychological level, right? I don't think anyone wants to drop it below 100K when it gets above there.
That's going to be a crazy. That'll be an insane fight. Like hitting that 6-digit mark is a huge mental thing, and all the bears or anti-crypto people will be trying to keep it and suppress it below that level forever, right?
Well, do you think that after this cycle, we'll have more regulations, more
100%
structure in place where we're not going to see crypto become as volatile as we have in the past? Like, I personally think that this cycle could be one that it's sort of the last cycle. And then going forward, it behaves more like, I'll just say like a traditional stock market or stuff where you're not going to see things necessarily drop 90% during the bear unless they're going out of business. You know what I mean? Like I think we're going to get a more stable price after this cycle.
I tend to disagree because I think where your market movers, right? People say, oh, like I agree with you, Scott, that the cycle will change after this one and that regulations will come in play and your centralized exchanges and everything like that will totally change how they operate, right? And your large projects that decide, okay, we're ready to tokenize and go out, whatever. But you'll still have all these bootstrap projects that operate on chain. And the government cannot lock down on chain. They can say you're not allowed, and I can turn on my VPN and I'm right back on chain, right?
I mean, I can see stuff like that moving and making
but I think that
some movement.
In the future, all your bull run happens on chain. It's that plain and simple. That's what I think happens.
So you're saying not on exchanges?
Right. I think in the future, because of regulation, you will not get massive blown out gains on sexes, right? You will find the majority of your gains on chain with either upcoming utility plays or, hey, like we're doing right now, the meme coin market, right?
Yeah, like stuff on Solana, stuff built on other chains. So you're going to see a more stable price when it comes to things like Bitcoin, Solana, and all those others, but you're going to see your big cycle movers or your bull run movers of people who are now building on those chains.
Right. It's your less accessible market. So it's your less tended to market by regulators.
So that'll also put us in a weird situation where with regulations that push it more that direction, you'll probably see a lot less new chains pop up. They might be under a lot more regulation or guidance to open. Like not everyone would just be like, hey, I'm going to, start this layer one. Then,
I'm not going to lie. That would do us all a favor. Why do I need 200 layer ones?
You don't, but at the same time, I guess it's just, I don't know if it's capitalism or what it is, but it's just the right to everyone to be able to try to start a business and do their thing. And the best product or service will survive. So, there still needs to be a way where they would regulate and do that and still allow for people to launch chains like that. But I do agree with you. I do think regulation and you see that more stable. People who are looking for big gains, like, we're degens. Like, yeah, we have traditional portfolios. We're looking for big gains in memes. We're looking to get big X's and stuff like that. So I could see that happening with all sorts of stuff, not just memes. Any new kind of project launching on chain. Yeah, definitely.
What do you think, Entertainer? Jordan?
Oh, man.
Oh, he's back.
You guys are so smart. I forgot that I'm even on the show. I'm watching the show. I'm excited to find who's going to break break out with some new technology on existing technology. The idea of potentially running programs, executables directly on chain, I think, is something that could definitely be utilized and really heighten the awareness of the Web3 aspect of what can really be done on chain in real time, spread across the universe, if you will. I'm just waiting to see who's going to do something with that.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea, though, that if there is too much regulation for exchanges, then everything could just be on chain and could be through dexes, which can't be controlled. I mean, that makes sense. And Base is getting so big now. Obviously, you've got Solana, you got Base, you've got a few other chains that are, they've got a lot of activity. And yeah, dexes are just so smooth and so easy to use. And I think
They
it makes
become
sense.
a lot easier now. And like with Coinbase's smart wallet and all of that, they're making it so, essentially a lot easier for normies to be onboarded.
So you guys both bring up a very valid point there, right? But
It makes it easier to bring them on chain.
Yeah, but I'm gonna play devil's advocate here because you guys are both mentioning the biggest regulated centralized crypto entity in the United States. You really think if the government told them they can't do something that they wouldn't do it? Like, so is Base
Coinbase?
in that sense, yeah, Base, it's operated by Coinbase, right? So say in the future they're like, the government's like, okay, we don't want people trading unregistered cryptos on Base chain. Like, are they gonna just bend over and fall down and be like, that's fine? Like, we're removing the ability to interact with Uniswap, period. Like, you get Base swap, and like
They're gonna just play ignorant, I'm sure. Like,
I tend to disagree. I
I
think
know,
they
but
will lock it down
they've also
ironclad.
taken on lawsuits, right? They've taken on the SEC.
yeah.
So maybe they will fight them in court because they've got the money to do it. So
Yeah, that's true.
That's what I'm saying. They'll play like ignorant to it, but push comes to shove, they'll defend it. I think it would go to court, especially when you see some of these other ones like cases going in, like not so good for the SEC. If we have a few more of those that lean towards the crypto, like towards our favor, then there'll be less likelihood. But they're basically trying to treat all this like stock market, every aspect of it.
You know what the worst thing to ever happen could be? I get forced to be a Tron maxi because it's not regulated by the United States.
Speaking of that, have you guys use that chain at all now? The Ton? Is it Ton network?
Ton?
Oh, I was talking about
Yeah.
Tron, but Ton?
Oh,
Yeah, we do.
Tron. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, no. I haven't looked into Tron at all, but I
Don't.
just recently got a Ton wallet, like the Telegram
Right.
token.
Yeah,
network.
so I think with that, if you're outside of the States and in other countries, you have a lot more ability to use it within Telegram and the wallet and whatnot. But there is a lot of activity going on there. I've been monitoring some memes on there. It's like I didn't even realize until I checked like CoinMarketCap how big they really were. And to me, the more I looked at it and saw that, yeah, sure, you have these games that are going off there, like these click games and things. If the meme volume starts moving that direction as well, I mean, there are some that are huge, but it's nothing like Solana or Base. Starts moving over there and you get the volume like that, then I think Solana is going to have a competitor. Like they're going to be, I think they're one that could actually come up on Solana as far as market cap and gain on them this cycle.
That would be crazy. Yeah. I think it would have to be much later in the cycle, maybe next cycle.
Yeah, no, I mean, take a little bit, but I mean, you're looking at, I'd have to pull it up right now, but what's the difference in them right now? Maybe 4x? I'll try to pull it
My
up.
argument there is like, so you're comparing a chain that is not battle tested with a chain that is battle tested and has failed numerous times.
So
you're doing Solana.
So pick your. So what are you saying? Pick your favorite bag of poop. Is that what you're trying to say? Like, I mean.
Well, but I mean, like, who's to say that? Like, okay, right now, a lot of people. Okay, the majority of people in the world do not use Telegram, right? And the majority of people in the crypto space do not use Telegram. However, Solana is much larger.
Well, no, okay,
no,
it's like hundreds of millions of users on Telegram. I have to find the stats.
Yeah, okay. But when you open up a new chat and you start sending it around. Okay.
No,
Have you ever gone
okay,
into?
I got the stats. I got the stats. It's 900 million monthly active Telegram users. That is like a seventh of the world, or let's say an eighth or ninth of the world.
And
That's what
market
I
cap
do.
between the two is Solana's at 65 and Tons at 18. So this is like, we're talking like a 3x difference overall too. And in my mind, the way I look at it is Solana, everyone knows and is used, and there's other stuff going on. Like, there's lots of stuff going on, whereas Ton is now just starting, in my mind, to become more known and hot. So I think that they could gain a lot of ground. And if you start getting a lot of meme activity and people pushing that volume over there, whether or not it's battle tested and it could hang, it seems like Tons just in the shadow right now, but they're in the shadow at number 8 at 18 billion,
Yeah, I mean,
and then
Doge
you
is
look
bigger than
at
them.
their chart, I guess, for this year, or their chart. It's
Yeah, so the thing is, the
Crushing it.
users aren't directly on Ton because they had to separate the Ton network from the Telegram actual app because of regulation and they had lawsuits and stuff. So if you guys look at the history, it's really, really interesting. And what's crazy is what I was just saying was there's 900 million active users on Telegram. So
I would be willing to guarantee that 2-to-1 is bots.
I have 2 accounts.
It
There's 2
said,
of them.
I think
I have
daily
4.
daily active is
I've got
200
34.
million users, which is still a lot. Daily active is 200 million. So that's like a lot.
It is insane numbers. I'm not saying, like, I totally agree. It's insane numbers, but I just wonder what the chain can actually handle. Like, Solana can't handle bull market volume. So, well, supposedly they fixed it. I hope
I
that.
have to be right back. My kids are going crazy. I'm gonna go see what's going on. I'll be right back.
Hey, yeah, you can go smack.
Entertainer, do you wanna
Yeah,
chime in?
we'll go straight to a turkey shoot live radio. No, that's fine. Well, gosh, I love it when I get caught off guard. I never have anything funny to say. Well, Jesus, why did you do this to me? I'm the guest.
No,
but
you're basically
let's-
co-host because you were here last week too.
So
Don't give me that title.
Have you messed with anything on Ton at all?
I've not. I've honestly not touched it.
Look, and full disclaimer for myself and Josh, I don't think has the wallet installed just yet. But we were talking about it for a long time. We've been doing the show for months, our stream for months, and we're looking at everything on Solana and Base, and we've been talking about looking into Ton and others. And I have good friends messaging me about, plays that they made that were very successful. And it's just like, oh, great, another wallet, another this, and like one of those.
Right.
But truth be told, installed the browser extension. It was up in 2 seconds. Just went to BitUnix, bought a few bucks in Ton, and just moved it over. And I'm like, oh, just deck screener like normal, and same business as whatever else. I was like, oh, okay. So it was easy. So I could see a lot of people, using that as well. But I do think that for traders and for people who invest, like if you've been here for a while, especially during the bear, and you're here right now and you're not like new money and new retail coming in, you probably have more than one meme coin. They're probably on different chains. You probably have a bunch of different things in your portfolio. Maybe some of the newer people that will be coming on will be like, okay, I got to get some Bitcoin. I got to get Ethereum. I got to get Solana, or this 1 or 2 memes, just like Doge was, a big one before. So I think I could see, newer people onboarded a little bit with that less diversity. But for everyone who's been around right now, it's like, as long as you have the wallet, it doesn't even matter what chain. We're just all sort of hunting for cool projects across the board. So,
Yeah, I think that's like the future, right? Is going to be like some sort of cross chain where you can just buy whatever project it is, and all the other on chain stuff should be done automatically in the background. That would be a really cool sort of future for, I guess, for crypto in general, right?
Yeah, there's a few projects out there that I won't mention that that's a huge hurdle. It's like, you want to get people onboarded, but then it's like, all right, first, let's see if, you can find an exchange or a place to get it. Then it's like, all right, well, what chain am I sending it on? Like, oh, send it on chain 7 or send it on this. And there's all these different things. It's like, no one wants to know and have to have options for that. Most people are just going to want to be like, how do I send it from A to B? Click, like, here's what I want to send, go. And that's pretty much it. Maybe enter an address or basic information, just like if you're at a bank sending money between accounts. Set it up once, click, do it, done. No one wants to have to pick all these sub things and whatever. So there needs to be definitely some changes and some new stuff out there, new wallets, new kind of bridges or automatic things that put this stuff more in the background to allow it, like a dummies version, and then you could have your little button that you click advanced if you want to see the details.
Yeah, so I think you're right. The barrier to entry to any of this is extremely high for non-technical people, and even for some technical people, they have a rough time understanding the ins and outs just to buy something. So if we can lower that barrier to entry, I think we'll see a huge on-ramp of
people get comfortable too. You get comfortable just trading Solana, and then it's like somebody mentions, "Oh, grab this on base," and you're like, "Oh, what do I do?"
you know what this is about? I Rock the Beer said you can buy Bambit directly with a credit card now.
Okay, so we did, and you forgive me, I don't have it at the tip of my tongue here, but we'd come across a fairly new site that would basically allow you to do exactly that. You just hop right in, like a Sex and Dex, just buy it straight off of them. Maybe I can find that real quick. We had it on our Twitter.
It's a great idea to be able to buy any crypto directly with a credit card.
For sure,
makes things so much faster and easier. And like we're talking about, on chain is a lot better than going through centralized exchanges, and the fees are less too. I'm sure you guys been hit with some big exchange fees before?
We've been, I think anybody who just does remotely okay is just bombarded with offers. I'd say 99.9% of them are spam and fake. But when you do drill into it and you bypass all these bots that are on Telegram and go straight to the sources, those things are expensive, man. They're just so expensive. I don't see how they could begin helping a project like us until we're at least 20, 30 mil cap. I mean, otherwise it's just going to really, I would think, hurt us.
Yeah, you got to be careful with the, I've heard exchanges like MEXC, they'll actually trade against your token. And yeah, I've just heard some bad stories from people that smaller projects that just got hammered by that particular exchange.
Yeah, a lot of people have said with MEXC, for example, if you want to be listed on there, because they a lot of projects, it's a lot of people are using MEXC, so a lot of people would want to get on there. But the problem is that be like, all right, and they're like, we want an allocation or we want so much of this, and they just take it and dump it on you. So what a lot of people have been telling me is when they're trying to get listed now, it's like, no, we'll just pay you in like USDC or something like that. Like, what's the fee or whatever? Because then if they wanted to dump on you, they'd have to, well, they can't really. They have to buy it and then sell it. And for them, it's at that point, it's just like, all right, well, this is the fee. So I think that's the better way to go about it. But I heard I always hear bad things about MEXC and that. And then also right now, MEXC is I think most users are being forced to KYC. So that's going to stop pretty much everyone in the States at some point over this summer from being able to use that. So.
Yeah, that sucks because it was, a non-KYC exchange for quite a while, and a lot of people liked it because of that.
There's a few out there that are good, that are starting to add a lot of tokens that are no KYC. Like I know that we've been using BitUnix a bunch, but there's a few out there.
What was that one called? BitUnix?
BitUnix, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, that was
entertaining. We're going to check out some of these exchanges.
I'm literally making notes to follow up with Scott afterwards to ask about, and it's just BitUnix. There it is. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, so obviously this show's all about Bambit, but we also like to talk about the overall crypto market as well.
Sure.
And so, do you know what the next comic is coming out for Bambit? Because I know you guys are always working new comics.
We haven't generated the community options, but to Phil, Scott, and Josh, and the comic the idea is pretty simple and kind of brilliant, and it came about from the community, which makes it even more powerful and impactful. Which is there are a handful of comic strips that we already have that are on the website just for fun little things, but it was taken to the next level, such as a suggestion to let's create a page, go page by page. And each page is derived from the community's suggestions, and those suggestions are turned into a poll, and the poll is then answered, and whatever that poll is, that answer gets turned into the next page of the comic. And every week as well, we're doing giveaways and contests, and during the week, the contest winners could be mentioned somehow, their name or maybe their kid's name or where they're from could be mentioned in the comic strip itself. So they're now part of the page. Fast forward, we have 20, 30 pages. We have a full, complete comic from start to finish, middles, and trials and tribulations in between. But each page is unique and created again by the community, such that each page could then be turned into its own NFT. So there, you can find yourself buying your own pages NFT for whatever reason down the road. But even further is once we have it completely done, we could turn it into an actual physical paperback comic book that you could download and have been a part of creating an actual physical comic book, which I think is a pretty cool thing to have come up with all in a VC in one evening, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, I love it. I love that idea. Yeah, I like comics. I like comic books. I do actually prefer digital ones now, just because digital is
paper cuts.
Yeah.
Nobody likes paper cut.
It would be cool to have both options to be able to buy like the physical and the digital. I guess like an NFT version of it, something like that.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. I love you. Let me give you my wallet. Show me how much you love me.
Do you know who that is?
I have an idea.
Cool. We're coming up over just 100 people watching now, guys. So this is awesome. This is still a new show. This is our second episode. I'd like to take this time just to quickly thank Scott and Josh for both coming on. And Scott, I know you had a rough last, 24, 48 hours. You want to talk about it all and tell people what happened?
Yeah, so there was a hurricane barrel or whatever it's called. That
hurricane barrel through you?
Pretty much. Excuse me. It was supposed to hit Mexico as a tropical storm. Then it was supposed to hit a little further up in Mexico. Then it was supposed to hit southern Texas and maybe Mexico. Then they were like, hey, tonight it's going to hit Houston. Wait, what? And so pretty much I was on the dirty side of the storm, which is the worst side of the storm. And it directly hit me. So luckily the house and we're all right. Animals okay. Everything's good like that. But I have a couple 100 feet of fence knocked down, ripped and destroyed, fence next door. I have this big canopy that goes over a huge X Games skateboard ramp. That top was like de-skinned from half of it and ripped. And it was crazy. But magically, power came on like a half hour before this. I was about to do it from phone or laptop in a hotspot, but luckily over here they got my power on. So now it's, so I wanted to make sure I could join at least in this few minutes of the stream that we're having. It's a little bit different than the past day or two. So it's nice to get my head out of that. It's also nice to have the AC back on considering it's 90 something degrees here.
Turn it lower.
Huh?
Yeah.
Lower. Yeah. So, but yeah, just wasn't exactly planning all that, but it is what it is.
Thanks so much for making the stream, because you could have easily just set it out, right? And that was real life. But thanks so much.
I had to force him not to stream Monday.
Yeah.
I'm like messaging him. I'm like, are you sure? If you don't like, I could figure this out. I could do my phone, figure something out. The thing that sucked though was like even cell service was basically bad. So Yeah, crypto.
Darling.
I'm totally a degen here in a robe. And outside world is destroyed, but still trying to. Something's got to pay for that fence, right? Someone's got to pay for it. The insurance company's probably going to tell me to pound sand. So,
Yeah, Josh is saying that you guys are starting to get donations. Is that right?
So Josh sends me a message and he's like, yo, look at this. And like, we're in a meeting. I'm like, wait, what is this? There's like something going on in Discord, like fundraising. Like there's almost like a GoFundMe, but somebody like sent money to like our show wallet to like help out because, they know I got hit by the hurricane. I'm like, to be honest, I'm like totally blown away. Like, yeah, we're fine. The house is fine. Like we're good. It wasn't like, we were wiped off the planet or anything here, but just to show how awesome the community is and how it's so like touching to know that there's just people that hear that or see the tweet or know something and then they're, figuring out how they could help. I mean, I got friends of mine in real life. They might not live right here, but no shit happened. I ain't get no text like, yo, you all good? You know what I mean? And I got friends in crypto who I might not talk to all the time that are here in the trenches grinding like we've been for years in the bear market that are like, yo, if you need a help, like here's a donation. It's like, it's just super touching to know that, there's awesome quality people out there and that I'm crossing paths with many of them, get to meet them when I go to these crypto events. And I know there's a lot of focus where people see that there's a lot of scammers and projects and a lot of rugs and different things going on there. But definitely don't let that deter you because there are some really amazing people, some of the most amazing I've met. And even the ones that I don't know personally, like I said, trying to fundraise and stuff to help out. And that's crazy. It's much love and I appreciate it.
Can I ask for projects such as Bambit or just a meme coin in general, are there conferences out there that make sense for a representative such as myself to go to, or is it more of a flash in the pan for most people and that's just not a thing?
Well, I know recently there was this, I don't know how well it was because we
Don't
were
even do it.
somewhere. What were you gonna say? Don't even
do
no, I was gonna say there was a meme con. Like I said, I have no idea how it was or anything. We were in Austin. It was, I think, around the same time of Consensus. So as far as like memes, there was one focus just on that. I think really the visibility with the project, obviously building out your community. But yeah, if you show up and you have t-shirts or you have some swag, really it's about going to events and just meeting people and just connecting and building out the community. I think as far as showing up and pushing, Josh, how do you feel? It's a lot of stuff gets lost there. Like even, unless you're like sponsoring an IFC fighter or in with some sort of niche or maybe co-sponsoring like a cool after party with somebody and like piggybacking something like that. Yeah, I don't know.
I think all that matters when it comes to smaller crypto projects is networking. And these conferences give a greater chance than anything to network. So I do think that there is a lot of value there. Not in the speakers, not in the free drinks or anything like that, but in the networking opportunities, that's where everything lies. That's how I met Scott. Scott came up and he wanted to network with Cryptos R Us, and that's how I met Scott. That's point case example of how these conferences can change lives or change the trajectory of your life or your project or whatever. There are ways, of course, to like sponsor things going on within them. There's no reason why you can't sit out in the front and hand away Bambit shirts or Bambit stickers, or there's no reason why you can't walk around at all the tables and put down a flyer. Like Bitcoin's going to get mad. They're not going to be happy about it, but like at the same time, all they're going to do is grab them and throw them away. Like you're trying to catch the people you can. All of those people, as much as they want to say, oh, they're a Bitcoin maxi, whatever, I guarantee they all have other projects. Like it's basically 100% like 100% proven that Saylor owns Ethereum, and he probably owns other things too. So
he owns Bambit and Chuck.
There you go. No, you're right.
Jordan
Though.
said it, not me.
It's all about networking because you never know who you meet and what it leads to, and oh, what do you do? Oh, this is my project, and you just never know how the networking stuff could go. I actually, though, I will say be careful if you decide to fly or any conferences, because I nearly got kicked out of Mining Disrupt last year.
And in addition to that, I will say be careful in the sense of like MemeCon was like the dumbest thing I've ever heard of. I'll go on record saying that because
it's probably gross.
So I know nothing about MemeCon. I just know that it was advertised and there's a lot of projects going. I didn't follow up because it's just so busy in Austin. So maybe Josh saw more stuff circulating and no. So
first off, the conference was in Lisbon. Okay. Like it's in Lisbon, right? Even for Europeans, that's far, right? And so for the majority of people that want to attend, it's a hefty price tag just to travel and stay, right? And then you get into the fact that at one point their tickets cost more than tickets to the Bitcoin conference. I think that it was, and also aside from that, I saw zero coverage or success about that conference outside of projects saying, hey, we're going. I didn't see any creators making content around it. I didn't see any projects. We knew, Scott and I knew projects that were speaking at MemeCon, and actually they've gone to zero and disbanded since then. It obviously did them no good. I don't know. I think MemeCon was the saddest excuse for a meme coin conference I've ever seen.
If you were to, but the thing is, like, it was also going on during Consensus in Austin, and my opinion would be Consensus, regardless of your project, Consensus established conference, very respected, and even on top of it, this year, they had Karate Combat and other stuff that was brought in and attached to the conference to make it that much better. I would say just showing up to Consensus probably would have been better than even having a speaking slot or something else at another conference that's going on. When we were in Austin, we saw everyone who's everyone that you would need to connect with, want to connect with, or meet.
Like bigger meme coins, like obviously you guys know Big Red, and there's some other big meme coins.
Yeah.
You said Brett was there, right?
I think
Big Red was not at MemeCon. Big Red was not at MemeCon.
No, and Consensus.
Oh yeah, and they will be at Bitcoin Nashville as well.
I think what we're getting at is probably the bigger events are good to go to for a meme coin that's very serious.
Yeah. So on that note, entertainer, if you want to go to the Bitcoin conference and if you want to get somewhere where you can talk shop and talk about Bambit, let me know you're going to the Bitcoin conference, and I will get you VIP ticket to the IFC fight.
Oh, okay. I like the fight.
I like that. No, thank you. That's a great offer. I'd appreciate it. It'd be my first, but I do love to network. My background is I'm a creative director, so I've always had to be creative when talking to people, but I've loved the aspect of just networking and getting to know people. And I think the biggest part about that I'm going to have a problem with is the biggest wins for me was always trying to figure out what people did and how I could help them or introduce them to other people just based on listening to them. And it wasn't so much about talking about myself. So it would be the reversal here, I believe, would be a lot about talking about Bambit. And that seems a little pushy to me.
No, the good thing is that everyone who, for the most part, everyone who's going to the conference, they're all in the industry. Like, not a lot of regular people are walking off the street. I hate saying this because a lot of these conference tickets are a lot of money, $800, $1,000, like, and also if you have a 3-day conference, usually the first day, like the Thursday, is more of like the industry day or something along that, more of the professional day. So really just, getting there, going, talking, and everyone there is in the industry. So everyone kind of wants to talk about their stuff. So even if you don't want to talk about your stuff, you meet someone, oh, what do you do? They start saying something, their conversation triggers something with you, like, oh yeah. And next thing you know, you're both talking about your projects or whatever. And it's just sort of the way it goes. And you have some beers and,
I would say though, overall the networking opportunities that you get, like maybe it's not worthwhile for Bambit to go there and promote, but like as a core member of the team or something, the networking opportunities are bar none.
You'd be able to use that with Bambit and anything else that you do.
Right.
In crypto.
Crossing that
Right.
threshold via Telegram or Twitter or something and getting into those circles is virtually impossible. Let's put it that way.
Right.
And if you get in there in person and people like you, that's really all that matters. You're networking then. That's it.
It's the touch, just being able to touch somebody.
Exactly.
Not
go
in the
touch
wrong
grass.
way.
Yes, and it's obviously like the odds of a rug pull when you've physically met someone goes down dramatically, right? Like it's
Tremendously.
and that's why it's good that Bambit has a a name to a face, right? And same for Chuck, and same for a lot of projects that you want people to be, you want the project to be real. And I know there's a lot of undoxed teams still and undoxed projects. But for me personally, I much prefer a project that I can see, a few faces behind it to know that there's real people there, and they're less likely to have anything dodgy happen if there is people around, right?
Agreed.
And that's how human contact works, right? We want faces. We don't want just like virtual, I don't know, apes everywhere and stuff, right? But what you guys said makes so much sense with the networking. I'd love to do. Do you guys know if there's any decent events that happen in Australia, or are we still like too far down under?
If you fly reverse ways around the world,
Here it is.
you can get to all these other major crypto conferences.
Yes, everyone keeps inviting me to US, so I'm gonna have to come to US sooner or later and get to some events.
I told you, Jordan, just fight in the IFC.
I would love to, but yeah,
That's
it's
the way
really
to do it.
I mean, you can basically throw a rock to Singapore, go to Token.
Well, is that you guys doing an event there, a fight there?
Oh, well, we're having that too, but I think that card's almost full. But you can apply. But aside from the point, like Singapore's got to be a relatively short flight for you, right?
I haven't looked into it, but I do know America is like 20 something hours each way.
It's like
And then I've got-
26 hours.
We've got like so my family, I've got like a wife and two kids, and they're very little, and we homeschool, and we have one car. We're like a one car family, and I sort of like I do everything for them all the time, so they're very reliant on me. So
First off, props. I was homeschooled.
awesome, yeah, and you came out all right.
Oh yeah, I was homeschooled for like 5 years, and then they realized that I probably needed friends. But no, yeah, you should check out Token 2049. There will be an IFC fight there as well, but like that's close to Australia. That's the biggest conference that's close to Australia. If I had to guess, not being an Australian, it's probably like in max 8-hour flight for you.
Okay, cool, that's interesting. Yeah,
Wait, where are you in Australia though?
in Victoria, like Melbourne.
Shit, hold on.
Do you really
in
know how
bottom-
Australia's broken up, Scott?
I do on most of it except for that actually, because I got friends there, and Australia's big.
It's huge. It is huge.
So-
Like I could literally never leave Australia and just travel around Australia and constantly travel to different places.
Would you
Like,
see
it would be a
different things,
huge
or would it
difference.
just be like, oh, look, a kangaroo. Oh, look, a koala. Oh, another
Yeah,
kangaroo.
I mean, like there's a lot of different climates here as well. So a lot of the animals are pretty similar throughout all of Australia, but there's a lot of different climates. Like there's drier areas and hotter areas. It's pretty crazy. Like Melbourne's a lot cooler. Tasmania's cold, like Canada, sort of almost. Not quite as low temperatures, but overall cold. You go to like Queensland, and it's just warm all year round.
You're
So
in
it's-
South. You're in
it's
South
very-
Australia.
Yeah, it's a massive continent, right? And we're all just along the edge, right? Everyone in Australia is pretty much along the coast. There's not too many people towards center because it just gets dry and hot and miserable. So, yeah, there's a lot here. But I would love to travel to US and check out those things. So Singapore, you're saying, is one of the best events. I'll have to check that out.
Well, it's
the closest.
Well, not only the closest, but it's also the second biggest conference in the world.
Oh, that's awesome. Cool. Well, I'll look into that. Maybe it's every year.
Yeah, well, they hold two. They've got one in Dubai, one in Singapore. Token 2049.
Next year when crypto's up, I'll have the money to go do this.
Yeah,
There you go.
come Token 2049 time this year, crypto should be up.
When's that? What was the date?
I think it's September.
Oh, cool.
September's for Token
Oh,
in
wait.
Singapore, and then the other one's in Dubai and next
Dubai
spring.
one already happened. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're doing it again in the spring.
That's
But yeah, no,
exciting.
you're flying from Victoria. That's like a lot further, I would think, than flying from, say, Perth to Singapore.
Yeah, I mean that's the
Unless-
thing, right? Australia's massive. Like we can fly from one side of Australia to the other. It takes like, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours. It's not short.
See, if the
Yeah.
world was actually round, you would just be able to go the other way. But the thing is, the world's flat, so you got to go
True.
all
It's
the
true.
way.
We're gonna piss off a lot of people now. No.
Yep.
Cool. Entertainers, is there anything else you want to say about Bambit? Anything coming up that you know of? Any competitions? I like to wrap
Well,
up around 1 hour.
Sure. No, if, I will say that if the world were flat, the cats would have knocked everything off by now.
I don't actually think the world's flat.
Okay. Yeah. So for Bambit, we today actually now this very moment happens to be the end of our week-long contest. It was called the Meme versus Meme, and this was one of my little creations here. It was taking another meme and throwing the iconic glasses of Bambit on it. We've had so many people throw these glasses on so many different memes. The meme creators, celebrities. It just kind of went out of control, and we had tons of entries. So we're gonna over the next 24 hours put those together on our end and put it like we did previously. Put it to a vote and pull a winner out of that one and try and get these guys into the next comic strip.
Awesome.
Sweet.
Ro-
Good.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, really want to thank both you, Scott and Josh, for coming. DirtyDegens. Make sure anyone watching checks out their channel, Cryptos R Us Plus. And you guys have a show tomorrow. Is that right?
As long as
Yes.
Scott keeps power.
yeah.
Yes, I will. I'll be good.
If he doesn't, I guess I'll just stream by myself. But
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
either
thanks
that or
again-
you'll see me on
Dana.
like a really like bad phone and connection. But
And thanks Entertain as well for coming on. You're
Thank
obviously
you.
you're very, very important in the Bambit community, and we love having you on as well. So yeah, really appreciate you guys coming on the show. And I might chuck that intro on as an outro just for fun, so you guys get to see it again.
I like
and,
it.
You get to see
Do it up.
in AI form. But yeah, thanks so much, and we'll see you guys next week. See you
Thanks,
later, guys.
Jordan. Scott, Josh, nice meeting you guys. Take care.
me and you as well. Take it easy.
Bye-bye.
you as well.
Let's get ready. Let's get excited. It's time for Bambit's Brilliant Blockchain Banter Show. Colorful Panda.
Let's get ready for Bambit's Brilliant Blockchain Banter. Let's get excited.
Bamboo time.